Sketchbook heroes, and sketchbook warriors, we've got some plants. That's the plan. Let's share my screen so you can see what we're talking about. Screen number 2. Here we go. There's a plant. Oh, very symmetrical, but the plants are going everywhere, wild, which is really cool, interesting if you think about it. Then we've got this plant, which is off center, but the pots are very symmetrical. So interesting compositions, how they're composed, how they're put together. So very simple. We'll do these and then we'll see. That is good study in the composition. So let's see if that is the center. Let's break this down. Thank you for joining us. We got a few people out there. We got 5 of you. That's awesome. Hardcore heroes. We've been here already for a couple hours. All right, let's get going. All right, let's break this down. Let's find the center. Here's my box. Oh, is it a perfect box? Oh, there's a square. Ooh, it's a perfect square. Look at that. It's a perfect square. Just like our album cover we just finished drawing. All right, look at that. Right in the middle. And then look at this one right in the middle, right there. And this is a half and a half. So let's break this into halves and the have-nots. All right, so here we go. This is probably right in there. Bam, blue Christmas right there. Bam. Oh, I see the pot is a little off center. And if I look at fourths, this is probably about a fourth right in there. So the table's under the fourths. There we go. That's it. That's good enough. That'll get us going. So here we go. If you're painting this is awesome. This would be awesome, but we're just sketching it out. We'll be sketching this out. So let's we'll put this in the chat and get it going. All right, here we go. I haven't put something in the chat yet. Put it to everyone. Screenshot. Ooh. There it is, a square. It's a perfect square. Capture that. And it is in the chat. Fall into the chat. Here we go. Let's do this. We got 4 squares. So we've got our paper. Let's zoom out as much as we can. And stop sharing because I see you. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. All right, here we go. So I can try to find the center of my paper. This is be interesting. Eyeballing the center. Right, that's my center. There's my middle line. And if I find the center of that, I eyeball the center of that. Well, there's the middle. And I know it's a square, so if I can try to get some squares on the side, just cutting the sides off, that's our drawing is going to fit in here. All right, so there's our paper board, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11, broken into fourths. First half, then half, and then the sides. Trying to get these squares here, probably a little bit lower. So it doesn't have to be exact. It's just to block everything in, to get everything where it needs to go. Let's see. Let's look at that plant. There we go. Oh, I didn't download it. Oh, well, I can see it there. There it is. There it is. Bam, bam. All right, here we go. So if you have questions, put them in the chat. I can see your chat, the chat box. It's awesome. Okay, so our pot is right about in here. I'm going to sketch everything in. Our pot is right about here. Touching, it covers over the center line a little bit. Our pot's right about there. And if I break this in half again, right a little bit below this quarter is our table. So it's the pot goes a little bit below. I can see that it's right there coming out. And then it comes out at this angle. There's this angle. And that's the top of the table. There's our table top. Tabletop has 3 angles. Actually, yeah, well, it has this horizontal angle. That's the easier one. Horizontal angle has 2 horizontal angles. Speak right. And then we got this angle here, probably a little bit steeper, which goes to the vanishing point. Oh, I didn't check that. Let me see. Ooh, I can do this right now with the picture. Looks like it goes right to our center. Let me see. Good question. A little bit below our center. So it kind of aims a little bit below the center, which is probably right in here. Ooh, that's interesting. That's kind of like the focal point, the area of focus right in there, right at the top of the base. Huh, and that's the darkest spot. Ooh, the artist did that on purpose. On purpose. Huh, interesting. The artists are very conscious of lines and direction and composition and flow and how things go. All right, so we have our two angles for our table, 1, 2, and 3. Or actually, these are going the same angle, same direction. And then there's this fourth one going straight up and down. Right then, that's the thickness of the table. And then we bring that bottom of that table across. Here's the top of the table, make it delineate it a little bit more. And then this side, it's a white table, so it's just slightly shaded right in there. And I kind of, with all the lines I kind of did, already kind of automatically shaded it, but there's the top and the bottom. And then we've got, and I'm looking here, I like right where this corner is, but on this side, bring it down. And that's the bottom of the table. And this is darker. This is definitely darker. All this is dark. Darkness. There we go. Encompassing me, all that I see. Absolute. Ooh, we had a lot of drawings tonight. We got through most of them. Yeah, except for the few. There's a bird and like plants. All right. Well, there's our table. And there's more shading with this bottom part of the table and textures and all kinds of stuff, mostly ups and downs. But let's get this vase in and then throw the flowers in here. So the vase does fit in here, doesn't go all the way up to the middle. It fits in this spot right in here. I can see the axis line. This is my center. It's a little off the middle, off this middle. So it's pointing from here up. That's my axis line. Now I can see this circle that's like right in here. Try to get it centered. That's the hardest part with symmetry is, but having this axis line really helps because you can see the middle, see both sides. I have an oval, and then it just comes down. So I got that oval shape, comes down, and then here this bottom part is an oval shape as well. Just for this bottom part, not straight across. It goes around like that. Let me zoom in so you can see that. See the see the beauty of this form because it's a sphere, it's a cylinder, and there it is all together as one. There's that. Then there's another cylinder up in here. Try to get that. It looks like two squares. You can see that two squares. There's a cylinder here. Ooh, interesting. It should be straight across, but I don't know. Yeah, it's straight across because that's where the vanishing point is going. That's probably the eye level as well. Yeah, so yeah, this is definitely the point of interest right in here. Because then that brings you down. Here's the handles. This is the outside of the handle. I'm focusing on the outside of the handle. Outside of the handle, kind of like the ears of the vase. Handles, gotta get a handle. And then there's I've got the outside now. I can go ahead and start kind of drawing it because there is a little bit of curve as it kind of is attached, and as it goes around, and is attached like that. Let's see, this is as it's attached. There's these little slight overlapping, shading, giving it form. Shading on this side top, and then here it's shaded on this, so the light is coming from the left top. There's a highlight right in here. There's a lot of stuff going on. If you really want to go in there and try to capture it all, really observe, that would be the challenge because I am keeping it simple. But yeah, you can go in there and do all the shading because all this like because the light's on the left, this side is there's more shadow on this side. There's more shading on this side, on the right side. There's more shading on this side because light is not hitting this. There's more. There we go. Shadow on the right. There it is. There's our face. Pretty 3D. All right, and then we just throw the flowers on there and we're done. The hard part is this vase. And it's just a little part of the whole drawing. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. I don't know who painted this. Who uploaded it? No, I don't know. Alan probably. Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Let's see. So we've got a whole mass in here, and we've got a whole mass up in here, and this we got one branch up that way, another branch coming in here. Notice that S curve, and then we've got no, I'm just kidding. I thought I heard something. And then we've got another branch over here. Oh my gosh. There we go. And there's a lot of darkness right in here. It's interesting. Like on this right side, there's this whole area that's dark. And then we've got this other, we got two little branches coming out this way, branch this way. And I'm just sketching it in. Yeah, we've got all this whole mass right in here. But we've got this one main branch that's coming up and around and down to the edge. This one right in here. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. This one 5. These are the main branches. And then all the other ones. So these are the 5 main branches. Ooh, it's got a 5. 1, 2. 5 is a good number. Odd numbers are really good for composition. Then all these other branches are smaller. So how are we going to do this? Well, let's see. These are the branches. That kind of gives us the flow. And now there's more detail. Here's another branch. The detail, and I'm just going to go. I'm going to go from left to right. There's kind of like a little pedal on the table. There's a pedal here. I'm just kind of get the pedal. This was painting. This would be really nice. I'm just kind of getting the feel of it. I'm kind of just almost like scribbling it in. This is where blind contour drawing really kind of helps. If you haven't done that hardest exercise ever, do that one. Do that blind contour drawing. It really is the hardest exercise ever. We should do one, but they're out there. We do our own. Other people explaining it. But basically, blind contour drawing is hard because if you're a perfectionist like me, you want it to look perfect, you want it to look good. It's not. It really challenges you to draw, observe. Because with blind contour drawing is you're looking at the subject and kind of like following it with your eyes, but not with your hand. You are not looking at your paper. In other words, don't look at your paper. If you even actually had something covering up your paper, so you're just looking at something and trying to draw without looking at your paper. You're really consumed in observing and seeing and trying to capture every little move like this. This is what I mean. It's a good exercise because even though I've only done it a few, well, I've done it a bit. I want to say a few times, but I know I've done it with my class. Or I've shown them how to do it. And it really, really helps because I can feel myself doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of like just looking. I'm doing more looking than on my subject matter than on my paper. I'm just kind of just getting the feel of it, and I can just there's the branch, and then there's some leaves, and I'm just depending on how detailed I want to get, just kind of like scribbling it in. But I'm looking at my subject matter, my subject, the subject of my painting or drawing here, all these petals on these branches. So I'm just scribbling it in. It looks like scribbles. There we go. Just getting it all to fit in. All this is really light. All these petals are really light. And then here it goes dark. And here I'm trying to see there's petals that go over it and out. And then here's these areas of really dark green grass right in here. Really, this is a focal point, an emphasis of life, just the green part coming out. Then you've got all this petals. And I'm just scribbling them in. I'm not worried about it being perfect. Why is there we have enough light? I have these lights, but I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not using one of my lights. I haven't been using since we moved upstairs. I haven't been using one of my lights. And then my granddaughter likes to play with my lights. She gets a kick from turning them off and on. Let me see. I'm just getting the other ones. Oh, actually, are have similar petals and stuff. The other set of flowers we're gonna draw right now. But I'm just scribbling it in, trying to get the feel of it. See, it's just a sketch. Sketchy, sketchy. Break this up a little bit. Breaking that space up. Coloring this would be nice, would be fun. I mean, this painting looks really fun. It's really thick, impasto, but not impossible. Impasto painting is just like really thick, like Van Gogh would paint. Van Gogh. There we go. Ah, that's it. Everything else just scribbles, scribbles, scribbles. There we go. Just get the feeling. All right. Whoa. Yes, 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 that's it. Oh, fascinating.
By George,
Let's get to the second one.
we are not alone.
Here we go. The second one. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Maximize. There it is. That's it. Now let's break this one down. Again, it's in squares. I'm pretty sure this is the same artist. Oh, Teal and White art by Laurie Lagarde. And I bet it's the same artist. Yep, Joys of Bloom by Laurie Lagarde. Painting on squares. Let's see. Oh, where did it go? Oh, I'm clicking on the wrong arrow. There it is. All right, let's break this down into fourths and let's do this. Ready? Then we've got some portraits to do. This one is going to be a little bit simpler, even though it's got more pots, more vases. There it is. Let's see. That's how they do the composition. This person's interesting with their compositions. All right, so here's our half, and then here's our half right there. All right, let's see where those halves marks are. Oops, I think I lost it. Pretty sure it's right about there. There's a half, and then I'm pretty sure it's right about there. And let's test that. Bam. Yep, right on the money. I can see it right here, right there. Okay, so most of the stuff is on that left side, and you can see this whole blank side on the right side, balanced. And then you can see this, the way they balance this out, the circle. Ooh, and this is halfway point right there. Halfway. This is a fourth down right in there. That line right in there. That's about a fourth. Interesting compositions. And then here you can almost have a triangle happening here. Triangle that's cut off. Oh, that's interesting. But triangles are really good, stable design in as a composition. I'll just keep it. I'll keep it. Why not? Oh, I wonder if I can control Z, control Y. Oh, it worked. Something in the chat. Let's see. All right, good night, everybody. All right, good night, Constanza. Good night, good night. Let's do this one real quick, and then we'll do the faces. All right, let's see. What time is it? It is 9:12. Oh, it's still early, kind of early, relatively early. Let's do this. Oh, there it is. Screenshot. That's it. All right, let's do it. Same thing. We're gonna do the same thing. Here we go. So we're breaking this in half. We'll do it again. If you have watercolor paper or a canvas, that'd be perfect. Break it in half. And we're breaking it in half again. And then we've got squares in here. We got to get some squares just by cutting off the sides. But not the sides. And the way you do that, actually, you can do it this way too. The middle, if you can eyeball it, here we can check this out. Oh, let's do this. Well, where's our other paper? Well, I can say this is about the middle. I can guess. I measured it. I made a little mark here where I think the middle is. Let's see, I think that's where the middle is. And if I bring it up, see how accurate I am. Not too bad. Probably off just slightly. But I can bring that over and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm actually off a little bit. Bring that out. So that's just cutting off a little bit off the sides. Not as much as I had before. Huh, interesting. All right, so there's my fourths. And let's do this. There we go. All right, so we're going to break that bottom half into half again, because that's where the table is. So that bottom half, there's our table all the way across, about the middle. And then on top of that, we have our three bases. One's a circle. One's we'll probably move it over a little bit. Get that circle one. That circle one's probably the easiest one to get. Then we've got that other one just kind of comes out a little bit at this angle. And then it has the top part of that circle up in here. And then you've got that other base, which is very cylindrical right in here. There it is. And then it's got a, oh, and that goes like right in the middle as well. I'm looking at it and that looks like that's right in the middle of that, right to the top. Interesting compositional choices. That is fascinating. I do this a lot with my artwork. I choose where things start and stop. Very intentional. And then you can see how everything else is just around it. But these vases are, there we go. And then here we go. It's probably a little bigger. There we go, our three vases. And our table. And then the little stuff on top. Let's zoom in. All right, let's start off with the stuff that's closest first. You can see this one's closest because it's a little bit lower, right? And it's probably move it over to the right a little bit. It is round. I'll just make it bigger. Make it a little more to the right. Now the top is should be an oval. Right in there. Right in there. It kind of comes over like that. There we go. Ah, there we go. That's it. And it's got a little bit of shadow on one side. Whoops. But there's our first vase. The next vase, bring it over a little bit. Watch your tangent because that was like right there. I'm going to bring it over just slightly. Try to see the center. Probably bring this over slightly as well. That's the center. This one's pretty tall and thin and tall. That's back there. I'm just going left from right. This one's pretty straight up here. The top, pretty straight. It's probably above our eye level. Or at our eye level. Because this one you can see just a little bit. Not so much. It's almost really thin oval. Really thin oval. There. Looking at this negative space, I probably could move it over a little bit more. So looking at this space that's right here in between these two. Maybe I can thin this one out. There we go. That feels better. That negative space. There we go. That's good. There we go. There we go. There we go. This vase, and if you need to put the symmetrical line of symmetry, right in there, right down the middle. That helps. This vase is not as low as this one. This one's a little bit higher. And just this is the way artists create space. Things that are lower are closer, things that are higher are further back. So this one, and then this next one is like right up in here. They're all really close. Is it a triangle? Yeah, right in there, right on the table. And then that marks the back of the table, just a little thin piece. The back of the table should be above this back one, right in there. There's the top of the table. And then this table has ridges, all kinds of stuff in here that would be great to shade and draw. Watch the thickness of because it's rounded, so it's shaded, and then it's rounded, and then there's a shadow area, and then there's a lip, not a lip, but here's another with another shadow underneath, about that much, that big. Ooh, here we go. There, that's looking good. Yep, there you go. And all this would be, you'd have to squint your eyes and try to see all the shading, the lights and the darks. But this whole side is dark. The light, the top of the table is light. That's where the light is. See, I'm just shading this whole side now. I'm not really worried about, what I'm really worried about is the drawing and practicing my drawing. There, that's it. And then now we've got all the little sticks that are coming out. I can see this is one big shape. See, I can see this shape here. It's almost like this triangle shape. See this triangle shape? And then you've got this other one. It's up in here. And then you've got something, something like that. There you go. This is the outside of all that. And then now I can just do that, all these little branches. And again, blind contour drawing really helps. Look it up, practice it. You can do it with your hand. You can do that with it. I would do it with my students with a piece of popcorn. I would do it with a crumbled sheet of paper. There's a lot of things you can do that blind contour drawing, really helping you observe and draw what you see. One branch at a time. Coming up in here, so just scribbling them in, trying to see how they flow, how they move. See that one branch, two branches, three branches here, back and forth. Watch your angles as it comes in and out. This other one right next to it, fitting in there. And all these other branches kind of coming up in here, coming up to a Y up in there. And there's a thickness to these branches as well. So watch that thickness, kind of scribbling them in. There we go. Where's it starting? Where's it stopping? How does it fit? If it doesn't fit, you must quit. Here we go. Wow, that was a long time ago too. It's 30 years ago as well. It's over 30. I think they didn't say anything. I don't remember hearing anything last year. So much going on in the news and stuff. But yeah, 30 years ago. Wild times, wild times. Here we go. There's another one. There's another branch inside that branch. Another one over it. But went back and forth. I'm just trying to get them. Oh, let's finish this up. Got the sirens coming. There we go. The thickness of the branches, the thickness and the way they wave back and forth. The shadings and all that stuff, ins and outs, but you got the shape, the form, you got the idea. All right, there we go. That's good. That's good. All right. Like, subscribe, comment. There we go.